Hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? Hope everybody's weekend is going good. We got Goldie parked out, sort of in the shade. Oop, focus phone. There we go. Hi. So I'm already out here sweating pretty hard. It's supposed to hit 106 sometime next week, and it's not looking like it's letting up anytime soon. And they say that climate change isn't real. Suck my foot. Anyways, I've got a little pet project today. I wanted to get myself a nice little high efficiency something or other to work on. And also maybe something a little bit useful that I could maybe like take camping with me or something like that, or maybe just have around in case of an emergency. Because it's Texas and it floods a lot, and our power grid is a little bit less than reliable in that respect. And so I went ahead and I invested in this. A Honda EX1000, 1,000-watt generator off of eBay for $100. The guy said that he had been using it recently, actually, and had just gotten a new one that had a higher output, and he used it for like his cook-offs and stuff like that. And so he put a lot of love and miles on this thing. So let's take a quick little walk around. Now, when I bought this from the gentleman, he informed me that it actually does crank and run and produce power. He says that it was just simply having an issue in the higher RPM range where the governor is kind of surging it and it's going wow, wow, wow. He didn't actually run it for me. There's fuel in the tank. Ooh, that actually smells quite fresh. I haven't had much of a chance to screw it this much yet, and it's pretty hot out here, so I'm probably going to make this brief, but what do you say we try cranking it up and seeing if it'll turn something on really quick before we really dive too deep into this? I already have sweat pouring down my face, so let's switch this to the on position. That starts up the spark and the fuel flow. Make sure that choke is closed. There's not really much of a primer button or anything that I can press. I suppose I just go for it. Here we go. Hey! Take a look at that. If I didn't know any better, that is a running and functioning machine for $100. What more could you want? Figure I'd start filming again before I forget. I got it up on the table, and I've got some of the tins off, and these are actual tins, not plastic sides. Some of these were being held on with screws that were not the appropriate size, or see how messed up those are. Yeah, gross. So I'm gonna dig through my hoard to see if I can find anything that correct size. Everything else seems to be pretty typical, what you'd expect from a $100 machine. other than the fact that it runs and works. It's missing this tin that goes on this side that actually does provide structural rigidity to this entire setup, as well as this one right here is actually broken. The metal itself is actually broken here. So of course that should explain some of the shaking and schlop that this machine is giving me in the higher RPMs, and so that's why I'm kind of afraid to really push it too far. I got the air cleaner off of the intake here. Take a look at the little venturi and open, closed, open, closed. Okay. Everything else in here seems to be kind of responding as it normally should. I'm gonna take this off and ooh. This guy said that he ran it like 24 hours for a cook-off recently, so I can't wait to see what's in that bowl. This has one of the washable oil air cleaners that they provide with this, where you see that might be causing some air seepage, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It just wants you to like wash it and soak it with some fresh oil, and there's nothing in that at all. Yeah. So I was actually, before I turned the camera back on again, by the way, these Baco sets are very useful for working on engines. If you do like some small engine work, or maybe even slightly bigger engine work, these are incredibly useful sets to own. They're from Baco, basically like the Swedish Snap-on. Their website doesn't really work in the US, so get these off of Amazon, see if you can find them. These little sets are super awesome. I like these a lot, and I use them for a lot of things. Even though I got this big old bag of tools and receipts that I've collected over the years. Let's take out the spark plug really quick and see what we're dealing with here. Using my special Baco extension with special spark plug socket. Focus. It's a little crusty. Ooh, come on. I don't know about that, folks. Let me get that cleaned up and stuff back in there. Let's check the other. For giggles, let's pull the tin off of the. Whoop. Let's pull the tin off of the exhaust here. But I think those are 8s. Yeah. See? What a useful set of tools to own. Oh man, it is dirty in here. Wish I had an air compressor or something I could get in here. I suppose the best I could do is kind of like hit it with the rag really quick. Get rid of some of the excess gunk before I go pulling apart the curb. What do y'all think? Yeah. Like that. Yeah, it's pretty grimy down here. But it works, and it was only $100. So I am obviously not complaining. Alright, so I got the air cleaner plate off, and it kind of has this this oil tube coming through, going to this thing. I tried to take it out, and I didn't feel like messing with it. This part is like too fat, and this part of the tube is kind of degraded, so I'm not going to mess with that too much right now. So let's just go ahead and remove this fuel line here, which, since I have the engine switch in the off position there, that, using that mechanism in there, should shut off this fuel line. So whenever I take this off, I should get a little bit of fuel dribbling out, but not a whole lot. Oh, that's basically already off. This is the whole plate there. It's held in with these two bolts. And the whole carburetor is on these two studs that go into the engine here, so bear with me for a second. You can just leave that facing some direction. Over here, where like that. And let me just go ahead and... I might need two hands to do this, but I need to unclip the governor up here right quick. So let me just go ahead and push down and do that. Alright, that's unhooked. And carb is off. Oop. Let's not forget about those drainage tubes, those overflow tubes down there. There on the bottom of the bowl, like that. There's our intake. So what do y'all say? I'm not gonna lie. I think somebody's been in here previously. This is looking kind of clean in here. Let me set y'all up somewhere. Let me set the camera something down, and we'll crack open. Nope. Do that on the ground. That had a little feel in it. Y'all think somebody might have been in there before? I don't know. What do you think of that jet in there? Can you see it? Ooh. That still seems good. I'm gonna turn that jet out and see what we get. I'm actually kind of impressed that the Volvo screwdriver fit down in that little jet hole. Oop, I'm dropping shit over here. What the fuck is that? Come on, focus. Come on, focus. I think I'm gonna hit this with some carb cleaner and stick it all back together and see what we get. Alright, I'm gonna let those components kind of like dry out for a little bit. I'm gonna work a little bit more on this jet though, because well, you can kinda. Get to focus. Whatever, you understand. I'm gonna work a little bit harder. And just to be on the safety measure side, let's just in there and give that a schmuck. Foreseeable amount of time. Alright, well, I kind of got a temporary washer. I need to go and get some more hardware to use on little projects like this, but I got a kind of temporary washer to kind of hold that bit of the front tin on to reduce the shake a little bit. I also got the spark plug all nice and cleaned up. So the jet's been soaking in the Berryman's can over there for a little bit, and the carb pieces over here are all nice and dried out from the carb cleaner. So let's reassemble all this back here before we get some of the tins back on, at least the ones that yeah, well, that's for structural shit. Let's put the tins back on. I gotta find another screw that'll fit in the bottom there. That isn't that one. And that's pretty much it for this for right now. I hope this isn't dragging on for too long. This stuff smells like Windex. Nice and shiny. Haven't tested those leads yet. I'll get around to it. I get too intensive with the detailing. Just enough to where it's not gross to touch it anymore. What do you think of that? I kind of have to use this other one since the threads over here are kind of already good and torn the hell up. But I did find one that is just uncannily similar to the ones that it comes with. Just look how close. Look how close I got. And that just came right out of my toolbox. Let's put it back on. Let's do this first though. if you work in a shop, just be sure to remember to order the extra large red rags. I know that y'all got the big old bags of the little red rags. You got to order the big red rags if you want to do what I do. All right. Good. There we go. That looks a whole lot better than that. Send that to the shadow realm. It's about high time I reassembled this carburetor. I could use a snow cone. I had to redo the studs here. One of them kept pulling out. I thought that maybe one of them had stripped, but I was wrong. It stayed in. So, time to put the carb all back together. Here's the issue that I think I'm going to run into here is that my air cleaner here is melted all to shit. So, I don't think that's going to make much of a seal onto there as much as I'd like for it to. And I want to be able to take this gasket off should I ever replace this air cleaner. Find something tacky that'll just go in there, but see how it just wants to just kind of. Yeah, the gasket is a little bit shrunken, and this is going to cause problems. Try to get it on, it just wants to cover it back off again. So, cool. We'll figure that out in a second. Yeah, just as I was afraid of. I got that all nice and sunken back in there, and of course, as soon as I started putting these guys down, that came right back out again. So, thinking maybe, I have an idea. I think I know what the issue is. This is the side that pulled out. This is the side that should be on the outside, and they're the same length. Those aren't. It looks like this side here has a little bit more meat, and hopefully nobody already had my idea and just took this out and flipped it around to try and compensate for the fact that I think that right there, no light. But yeah, that hole right there stripped out. It's not too hard to fix, but that is about as in there as that'll get. It seems like it wants to sink, like that doesn't want to turn anymore. And when I feel it, when I pull on it like that, that's tight. Just a little bit more. I don't care if I tear this up at this point. Right down. Two hands for this shit. Come on there. Come on there. Alright. And is that turning any? Does it look like it's turning? Looks like it is to me. That's about as in as that's going to get, though. That is meeting with resistance. So, let me see if I... Well, that seemed to do the trick. Nothing seems to want to... It doesn't want to come out. That seated down nice and tight. This one came out just a little bit further, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. It's all on and it's tight. I don't know if the air cleaner is going to be an issue at this point. I'm just going to kind of stick that back on there the way that it was and get this last tin on the exhaust back here. Fire it up, see how we did. I keep on having issues with this stud pulling out here. I'm eventually going to have to put some Loctite on that or something. Maybe even re-tap the hole. I don't know if I'm really willing to put that much work into it, but yeah, that's what's slowing down the process at this point. Careful now, careful now. Everybody, careful now. Just jostle it, just fuck it just a little bit too much. It wants to just pull right out of there. Extra ginger with everything. Add in here. As ginger as I can do. Come on. Alright. It's on there. So let's just do these just a little bit over hand tight. Ah, shit. Forgot to button up the governor. Hang on. Alright, now let's try it. Let's just put that one on about hand tight. If it'll take hand tightening. I don't think it will at this point. Family next door. And alright, I'm gonna call that. Okay, nah, it's good. Here, put the air cleaner back on, clean this shit up. See how it runs. Alright, I went ahead and I drained the oil out into my recycle pan here. I'm gonna add a fresh, almost half a quart of, I think it's somewhere around, what does it say? 0.43, what? Liters? Quarts? I'm gonna go with that. Make sure to always use common sense when working in the garage. So, after some guesswork, because I didn't feel like going all the way back to the house to get on the internet. My oil thing doesn't. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's about midway. That should be adequate. Fresh oil. Nice clean jets. Unless there's something seriously wrong here, I don't see why this won't run at full fucking speed all day long. Let's give it a try. Alright, let's see what we got here. There you have it. And don't go thinking just because I'm fucking around with Hondas now means I'm gonna become some posy-ass JDM guy. I love Volvos. I will always love my Volvo. Skyrim.